Promotional consideration paid for by the following. The Ohio Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Scott M. Gray, D.C., across from the Marion Center between TSC and Kroger. For further information, dial 740-386-6580. Also located on the net at goodbackbadback.com.
You know what the greatest thing is about the exchange with Scott Spears? Well, not only do they have Scott Spears, but they got all kinds of fabulous guests, too. So tune in. The exchange. Scott Spears. Right here. Hello there, Soup here. Say, if you want to be really entertained, just tune into The Exchange, starring my good friend Scott Spears, here on this station. You don't see Scott Spears using teleprompters all the time. No. He ad-libs everything. Is that okay, Scott?
Hey, Scott Spears along with you on a Tuesday edition of The Exchange. Going to have a lot of fun. Remember, a week from today, we have got that box, which will be open for Charlie. Just appeared here one day. We don't know what's in it. And we're down to 6 days until we're going to open that box. It's the big countdown. It's like New Year's Eve, Charlie. What's going to pop out of that thing?
Well, I wish I knew. I may not come next week.
You can't now. We'll show up at your doorstep with that box.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
And
yeah.
the contents of what's in it.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
I hope.
I hope so too. We've got lots coming up this week. We've got Tracy Tilka from the Ohio State University Marion, studied body images. She's going to be here this week. Going to talk a lot about that. Marianne's got a guest today who I'm going to let her introduce as the program progresses, but you've already seen her and you'll see and learn more about her and more about travel, which will be a lot of fun here. Going to kick it off today with Charlie Evers and his fascinating facts.
I'd like to go to outer space today, which a lot of people say I'm already out there, but there are so many thousand objects that are being observed in outer space. But of all those thousands, there are 600 that can't be identified. Now the big question is, what are they? Now some of these images probably are the result, or that they found the result of galaxies colliding. I mean, we can see that far out. But there are 600 objects, and I just wonder how many of those objects happen to be UFOs or people from outer space. It's probably going to, one of these days, it's going to be known.
Do you believe in UFOs?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen one. I did see, one time I was looking up, and I'm an amateur astronomer, was looking up one particular area, and all of a sudden a star burst like a nova, you know, like one of those, I don't know if it was or not, or if it was a UFO, but I've been to lectures on UFOs. Very interesting.
I think they're fascinating, but I'm not sure if I believe in them. I don't know. There's something there that just, it's kind of like ghosts. You know,
Yeah.
I've never seen a ghost, so why would I believe in one?
Yeah, that goes along, that statement goes a long way.
Yeah, it does go a
Yes.
long way.
I've never seen $1 million, so is there $1 million out there somewhere?
But people have seen $1 million. Nobody's ever verifiably seen a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I want somebody to whip out $1 million, I just go over to your house.
$1 million out in front of you?
Well, they might. If I go to the bank, I worked in a bank. I have seen $1 million, Charlie.
Really?
Yes, I have.
In one pile?
I've been in the vault.
Well, good.
Yeah, that's
Too
right.
bad they opened it.
I opened the vault. Spent a couple weeks in there one time. Move on. Marianne Michaels with words of wisdom. Do you believe in ghosts, Marianne? Do you believe in UFOs?
No.
Why not? Why not?
That's for another time. That topic.
We're not got a topic in here. Just do you or don't you?
I haven't decided. I think there could be UFOs.
Okay.
But I don't believe in ghosts.
Okay.
These words of wisdom this whole week have to do with you can do it. And this one comes from a Zimbabwean proverb, and that's from the African country of Zimbabwe. If you walk, you can dance. If you talk, you can sing. Very simple, but it tells a tale. I like it.
Oh, Marianne, I don't agree with that at all. I can talk, but I can't sing. I can talk, but I can't sing.
Oh, I don't believe that for a minute. You can sing.
Not well.
Well, it doesn't have to be well.
Can't dance.
Let's
I can
just
walk.
hope he
I
doesn't
can't
do it
dance.
on his program.
That's right. Well, we haven't sang for a while, Charlie. We'll get back into that.
Oh,
I remember
never
one time we
again.
did a number of Moon River. You remember that?
Yes.
Well, the dogs are still howling about that one.
Right.
Holy mackerel.
Oh.
Marianne, we'll come back to you. Let's go to Brenda Donegan. We'll kick off the program. Brenda Donegan's Ohio. Where are we going this week, Brenda?
I thought we'd go southeast to the Hopkinsville area.
Ah.
It's the time of year that the leaves are turning, and might just be the prime time right now. I'm not sure. We had that wind last weekend. If it didn't blow all the leaves off the tree, there might be some colors and the leaves about.
And I was in the Windy City during that wind.
Oh my goodness.
Did you find any leaves there?
I saw a lot of leaves there.
Well, the most popular area when you head south is Old Man's Cave. And at the Upper Falls there, the Grandma Gateway Trail begins 6 miles north, connecting the three caves of Old Man's Cave, Cedar Falls, and Ash Cave. And if you're really into hiking and into nature, there is a wonderful place to go. I don't care to do that kind of stuff anymore, but I know a lot of people who do down there and they'll spend the weekend and the whole day. 2 and 3 days just walking up and down the gorge looking at all the scenery. I did find a little history about Old Man's Cave and how it was named, so I thought I'd share that with you. Old Man's Cave derives its name from the Herbert Richard Rowe, who lived in the large recessed cave of the gorge. His family moved to the Ohio River from around 1796 from the Cumberland Mountains of Tennessee to establish a trading post. And he and his 2 dogs traveled up and down the Scioto River in search of game, and on one trip he found the Hopkins region. So Rowe lived out his life in the area and is buried beneath one of the ledge of one of the main recesses of the cave. Earlier residents of the cave were 2 brothers, Nathaniel and Pat Rayon, who came to the area a year before Rowe did, and they built a cabin 30 feet north of the cave, and both my brothers were buried in near the cave. I thought that was kind of interesting background and history. But the Old Man's Cave area is divided into 5 regions, and 5 principal regions that are found all along the trail of the gorge. And like I said, full distance is approximately 1.5 miles of gorge. When you go down there, if you want to sit in the weekend, you have all kinds of places where you can stay. You've got cabins, you've got A-frames, you've got resorts, you name it, you can go. And probably the travel gal here can tell you more than I can. She probably has a brochure with her that can do that.
Hey, dear.
But you can either rough it or you can go to the resort where they take care of everything for you. So if you get tired of hiking and nature, you can take a drive to nearby Nelsonville, or you can take a historic train ride
Perfect. It's a great trip. Anytime you say Hocking Hills, everybody gets excited around Ohio. That's a nice place.
I did the winter hike down there one year. It's 6 miles and it was 9 below zero.
Oh.
Oh.
And you know, you would be surprised that the people have said to me, well, we went to New England, see the colors, and they come back and they go, there's so much prettier stuff in Ohio. So don't spend your money just in Ohio, keep it local.
That's right.
Have a good time.
Keep the money in Ohio. We're now going to slide down to Marianne Michaels, who's got a great guest with her in her segment Potpourri. Marianne, introduce and tell us what we're talking about.
Well, I'd like to introduce Kimberly Schwinn, and she is the public relations manager for the Auto Club. And we're going to talk about travel. And it's interesting because we have something in common, because I was in television in Dayton a lot. You probably weren't even born at the time when I was down there at WDTN, and Kimberly was at WHAO, and we were competitors at that time. But you are now in public relations, and right, and I know you enjoy it.
Yes.
So you came to talk about travel.
Yes, and a great segue with the Hocking Hills, because that's actually some of the things that I was going to talk about. And AAA actually has some great packages to the Hocking Hills. You're talking about Cedar Falls. Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Inn and Spa at Cedar Falls. Absolutely fabulous place. The innkeepers there are just wonderful. I actually stayed there last year. I actually wrote a story on it for Home and Away magazine and got to tour all through the Hocking Hills, saw Ash Cave, which is spectacular. If you've never seen that, you really have to. And Old Man's Cave, and, you know, just all the sights down there are just breathtaking. So it's just absolutely wonderful. And as I mentioned, AAA has some packages. You can go to the AAA store. We have one right here in Marion. It's on Mount Vernon Avenue. And our Dreams Vacation guide, this is out right now. And we actually have the package and the AAA benefits listed in here. So great deals at the Inn and Spa at Cedar Falls, 15% off lodging, breakfast for 2 each morning, 25 gift certificate for dinner, gift at checkout. And you also have deals at Cherry Ridge Retreat and Glen Laurel in the Hocking Hills. So, yeah.
Said it was
So
the same time.
great segue. And it is their busy season. October is a wonderful, wonderful time to go down there.
What I'm interested in, Kimberly, is, you know, with the economy being what it is, are people still traveling?
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
That's encouraging.
Believe it or not, yes. So let me take you through the past few years. 2008 and 2009, when the recession first hit, we saw a dip in travel like everything else. People really pulling back, not wanting to spend money. What happened then in 2010, we started to see a little bit of a recovery in the economy, and travel just surpassed that recovery greatly. You know, people really, they had that pent-up demand. They didn't take their trips in 2008, 2009. They wanted to travel. They wanted to go somewhere. So we really saw this huge resurgence in travel. 2010, absolutely fabulous year. 2011 started off on the heels of 2010. Things have slowed down a little bit, but we're not seeing those levels down as low as they were in 2008 and 2009. We're still finding, despite the high gas prices, despite the economy, people really want to travel. What they're doing is maybe they're taking shorter trips. Maybe they're going to places around Ohio, the Hocking Hills, the state parks, things that don't cost as much money instead of taking that big, huge, expensive trip. So they're traveling, they're just doing so maybe a little bit differently, maybe cutting out an activity, cutting out, you know, some expensive restaurant, driving instead of flying. So different things, but yes, they are still traveling.
That's good. And are there any new regulations? You know, traveling isn't as fun as it used to be. I mean, come on. We have, you know, when you go fly in an airplane, you have all of those things that you have, can only take a certain amount of stuff with you, and it gets to be a little
You mentioned that.
irritating. And I wondered if there's anything new on the horizon.
There's a whole lot going on.
Oh.
So let me start with the 3-ounce rule. And AAA can actually kind of try to make traveling a little bit
I have one of
easier.
those.
But yeah, you can pick one of these up in the AAA store. It is, so when you go on a plane, you can only take 3-ounce containers of liquid, and they all have to fit in a 1-quart container. So in here are something for hairspray, some pills, or lotions, whatever, shampoo, conditioner, you can put that all in here. I have one of these. In fact, when I was going through a security checkpoint one time, the TSA officer picked it up and said, "Everyone should get one of these." So I thought that was kind of funny. So yes, 3 ounces of liquid. If you haven't flown, you have to take it out of your bag and put it on the conveyor. So that can help make traveling a little bit easier. Also, the U.S. Department of Transportation is also trying to make traveling a little bit easier, flying that is. They have actually just enacted, they took in effect on August 23rd, new passenger protection rules. And I'm going to kind of go through this because there's a lot that goes into it, so I'm going to look down at this. So basically, they're really trying to hold the airlines more accountable and more responsible for, delays, lost baggage, and things like that. So you have all these baggage fees nowadays. You pay $25 here, $50 there to check your baggage. Well, if they lose that baggage, they now have to give you back that fee. So that holds them a little bit more accountable. Still don't have to pay you for the entire bag. You have to make sure that that's insured. But still, a little more accountable with that. Also, if your flight is oversold and you're bumped to an additional flight, they have now increased the amount that the airlines must pay you for your delay. So that's good news. Also, they have expanded tarmac delays. Used to only be for major hub airports. For domestic flights, they couldn't leave you sitting on the tarmac for more than 3 hours. That is now at all airports for domestic flights. And for international flights, they can't leave you on the tarmac for more than 4 hours. Now, coming on January 24th, 2012, they are going to require the airlines to post all taxes and fees, including baggage fees, in the advertised airfare. So when you look at that, you don't have to calculate, okay, well, it's going to cost me this much for this and this much for this, and well, so my ticket's really going to be $100 more. So it all has to be spelled out for you. And they're also going to require prompt notification of delays over 30 minutes. So
Those are all good things.
yeah, so very good things. And some people are worried that that might cause the price of airfare to go up a little bit. Well, it's already going up because of the gas prices. So AAA thinks it's a good thing because a lot of people are very hesitant to fly because they might get delayed, they might get stranded, they might get their bags would be lost. So holding the airlines more accountable is definitely a good thing.
Well, I read recently where Wednesday is a good time to book because it's cheaper. Is
Yeah,
that
and I've
true?
seen Tuesday, so
Oh, really?
it's
So the middle of the week then, maybe.
I guess.
Maybe the middle of the
I've
week.
heard all different things. It's just one of those things you really have to check early and check often. So what we say is, when you want to book a trip, whether it's a cruise, whether it's, flying somewhere, you really want to book as soon as you know where you're going. And yeah, maybe check your fares, but the best thing to do is really just talk with the travel agent, and they can help get you the best option. So,
Where are the most favorite places for people to go?
this number one is always Disney World.
Yeah, I can
No,
understand that.
yes, always Disney World, and even still, so you ask, are people still traveling? Yes, Disney World is still our number one destination. So, and AAA members also really get some great discounts to Disney. So that $54 membership, $54 for a whole year, can save you a lot of money, especially if you plan on traveling. Now, in terms of driving destinations, lots of people drive to their destinations. Myrtle Beach is always the number one
Yes.
driving destination, and followed by Hilton Head, Orlando, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and Virginia Beach, Virginia. So
I've
those
been
are
to all of those places.
I haven't been to all of them,
Been
but
to
yeah,
all of them.
those are all great destinations. And AAA really has a lot to help people out along the way. So for websites, you can always go to AAA.com, so AAA.com. Remember those triptychs?
Yes.
You can still get them in the store, but you can also go to AAA.com/max, and you can get your triptych online there. So you can type it in and just print it out from home. You can also find cheaper gas prices. If you have a smartphone, you can download the Triptych mobile app. So you can navigate on there, find cheap gas prices. You can also go to AAA.com/fuel finder, and find the cheapest gas prices around your area.
Now, question I have to ask, do you get to travel to a lot of these places to check them out?
Not all of them. No, not as much as I
That
would.
would be neat.
It's really hard because working for AAA, you talk about all these destinations and you see them all the time. You just want to go, but we have 2 weeks vacation just like everybody else. But I have gotten a couple of fun trips. Like I mentioned, I went to Hocking Hills and wrote a story on that. And I'm also in the process of writing a story on cruising. I got to go on a celebrity cruise and write a story on that for Home and Away magazine.
Now, where did you cruise?
We went out of Fort Lauderdale and we went to St. Thomas, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and St. Martin. And if you haven't been on a celebrity cruise, they're just amazing. So.
Anybody else have any questions for Kimberly?
Now, what kind of celebrities were on the cruise? Why was that interesting?
Why was the cruise?
Yeah, why was it interesting?
Celebrities really just kind of, and all cruise lines, they've really just stepped up cruising. So you used to hear about cruising, maybe being kind of boring and not a whole lot to do, and you just relax on the ship. Well, no, they've really tried to elongate the demographics. So you have activities for little kids all the way up to seniors, something for everybody. And Celebrity really has tried to tailor to that. So there's dining for everyone, there's activities for everyone, there's even staterooms for everyone. They have a whole spa class in the ship. It's just, the service is outstanding, 2-to-1 guest to staff ratio. So cruise lines have really stepped it up, and it's an absolutely wonderful way to travel.
I like cruising because you don't have to worry where you're going to eat.
Yeah.
You don't have to get dressed up and go out and get in a car and drive to this place and drive to that place. To me, and there's a lot of activity going on in cruises. They have games. At the one cruise I went on, they had trivia. They played trivia, and we'd get into teams. And I mean, really
Yeah,
neat thing.
it's really fun.
It is fun.
And it is, everything's included. So it's a
Everything's
great
included.
value.
Yeah.
And that's another one of our most popular destinations is Disney, cruising, different tours, people going to Europe. That's a big popular one, and all-inclusive vacations as well. I know we're running out of time, so I actually brought a big bag of stuff. Are we almost out of time?
A little bit.
Well, I wanted to show you one thing. If you are planning on traveling, you really need to be safe and make sure that your belongings don't get stolen. So we have these products in the store, and this actually has wire in it. So what these will do is they'll try to cut your bag or cut your strap, and they'll try to steal your bag or steal things in. So this actually prevents that from happening.
Oh, that's interesting.
And something you and I actually talked about, and I'll bring one of these out, is a RFID blocking device. They have these
Yes, you
in
told me about that.
purse inserts, they have them in wallets, and this is a good idea if you're going through the airport because people can actually, those credit card machines where you swipe your credit card as you're going through a drive-through, people can actually buy those online, walk through the airport, scan your bag and steal your identity. So this prevents that from happening.
That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, it made me laugh there. Mary Ann took what was that thing you took on a trip one time, the thing that you jab people with?
Oh, Kubaton. Yeah, I almost
Kubaton.
got arrested. Kubaton. I almost got arrested. Yes, because it's a long story. I interviewed somebody who wrote a book, a woman, about women's protection, self-defense, and so forth. And she gave me this Kubaton, and it's made out of the same material that the billy club is made out of. And I put it on my keys, and I was shown how to protect myself if I was attacked. Well, I forgot to put it into my suitcase. I had it in my purse. So I had this person go like this, I need to see you, and I went over and he said, that's a weapon? I said, don't take it from me.
Oh no, and you couldn't protect yourself.
No, he said, I have to. He said, I can arrest you. I said, are you going to arrest me? He said, no. He said, but I have to take it. I said, well, can you send it to me? He said, no. So I got another one. I went to the police and they told me where I could find one. And so I don't take it now. I know not to put it in my purse anymore when I fly.
Not on the airplane.
But not on the airplane.
Hazards at the airport. Thank you so much for coming today. We're going to be back tomorrow with more.